Hello guys, welcome to the Salesforce Stack, and this is my first video on YouTube regarding the Salesforce Lightning event. In this video, I am demonstrating how we can communicate and get the data from the child component in parent component. So let's get started. Here you can see that I have added two components. One is demo parent component and second is demo child component. I have already added some code on both component in order to render account and contact data, and the result would look like this. I have shown three fields of account in a parent component, and I have also shown three fields from the contact object which was showing inside the child component. Let me show you the code which I have written so far. So let's open the demo parent component first. So in this component, I have used two attribute with object types. So I have added three lightning inputs box to show account fields value. Okay, here comes the child component. I have specified the child component here and populated the contact obj attribute with contact obj. So don't get confused with the name. One contact obj attribute is declared in child component and one is in parent. Both are separate. Okay, let's open the controller.js file and I'll show you what I have written to show account and contact data. So in edit method, I have populated account and contact data with some static values for demo purpose. After specifying the data, I have set those variables values to respective attributes. Let's come back to the parent component.cmp file. Here you can see that I have used account obj attribute to populate respective property against each lightning input, such as account obj.name, account obj.phone, account obj.type. Okay, here I call the child component and pass the contact obj so that child component can render respective data for contact object. Coming back to the demo child component, here I have added a attribute contact obj on child component, which would help me to hold the value coming from the parent object. You can see that I have used the same way to populate contact data in lightning input, and this is the result so far. Now the question comes that if I update contact name value or a phone number, I want the updated value in my parent component on button click so that I can perform CRUD operation. We have passed the contact obj attribute value to child component contact obj attribute value. So child component attribute value would always have the latest value because we have bind the attribute to the lightning input, so that there are two way to get the child component value. So first way is we would use aura colon id, and let's give it a name, cmp child, and save it. So this is the first way, and we would use the aura id in order to fetch the child components attribute value. So let's go back to the controller.js file and let's write a code inside the save method, and let's click let child see obj equals to component dot find is the method which take an argument of the aura id and it would return to the respective component. Okay, so we got the child component. Now let's fetch the attribute value from the child object. We would use the same method, v dot uh, attribute name. So let's put v dot contact obj. So we got the attribute which have all those three properties: first name, last name, and phone number. So if we would print all those three properties with the help of the console.log method. Just put cntobj.firstname. Let's check the spelling. Okay, let's copy it and paste it. We would do same for the other two properties. Let's copy the console and paste it 2 times and go back to the component and copy the last name property and put it here. And for the phone number, just copy it and paste it. Okay, now let's save it. Okay, just open Inspec so that we can do a hard refresh. Right click on this and click empty cache and hard reload. Okay, so it has been loaded. Okay, let's clear the console and put some random value in first name and update it from the child side. Wow, I am to update it. Let's give some random phone number and click on save button. Bingo, we got the values from the child component in parent component. So we can use this obj and we can manipulate the data and can perform save and update operation. This is the one way to get the data from the child component and use it in parent component. Okay, I'll show you one other way how we can get the data from the child component and use it in parent component. So lightning event is the second way which we can use to fetch the data from child component to parent component. So let's go ahead and create a new event and just give a name. The name should be a unique. Let's put a what we can the contact updated event and just copy it so we can use it in other files. So this is the default event which created by developer console. You can see that default event type is application, but as per our requirement we need a component event. So what application event does, it can be accessible throughout the app, but as per our requirement we want to access event within the component. So go ahead and delete the application, we don't need it, and add component here, component and we also don't need a description here, so just remove it and make it field tag so that we can add our parameters. So let's put a parameter here at or attribute. So the parameter type would be a object type so that we can pass the object so that other component can get the object directly. So let's give it a name, updated contact, and type would be object. Okay, now let's save it. We have created our event here, and now the second thing is what we need to do is we need to register the event in my child component so that I can use the event. So let's give it a name. So just copy the exact name of the event, double click and copy and paste it here. Okay, let's paste it, and this is the name attribute contact updated event, and we need to use the same name for the type C colon contact updated name. So it take the exact same name for the event to register, C colon contact updated event. And now we can give the name, just put it as small so that it would be a unique contact updated event name. So we have registered the event. Now the second thing is come when the event is get fired. So you can see there's those three lightning input, first name, last name and phone number. So whenever those value get updated, we want to fire the event. So what we need to do is we need to use the on change event, and let's call the event value change. So go to the controller.js. Here you can see that I have already write the value change event. Let's write the code. Let cmp event equals to component dot get event and give it a name. What was contact updated event? So let's copy it and paste it here. So that line, what it does, it just return the event. So we have the event. Now we need to set the parameters. Now what was the parameter name? Go to the event file which we have just created, and you can see that the parameter name is updated contact. So let's copy it and paste it. Now we have the parameter name. Now what value we need to assign to that parameter? We need to go to the child component, and you can see that the contact obj attribute. So the contact obj attribute will always have the latest value. We don't need to write the separate code for first name, last name and phone number. Just copy it because that will always have the latest value. So component dot get v dot the name of the attribute contact obj. So it will assign the latest value to the updated contact parameter. So now let's fire the event cmp event dot fire. Now that event would fire. Oops, what was the error? Some parsing error. Okay, I got it. We don't need to write a semicolon for this because it's a JSON format. Okay, let's save it. Now we have registered the event and we fire the event on value change method. Now the third thing is we need to handle the event. So go to the parent component. Here we need to handle the event. So let's paste the same code which we have written for the child component, and we need to copy the name because the name must be same. The register event name and the handler event must be same. So just copy it and paste. If you don't use the same name, your event would get not fired and you will not be able to catch the event. And the event name would be the event name which we have created. And the third parameter is action, where we need to specify our action which we are going to writing here handle updated contacts. So we need to specify that event in the controller.js file. So let's copy the name and go back to the controller.js file. Here we need to write the event which we with action method. Okay, handle updated contact function component event and helper. These three parameters it takes. So let's fetch the event updated contact equals to event dot get param. So what was the parameter name? We need to go to the event file and let's copy the name, and because it's the attribute which we have specified here is a type of object, and we use that name here and paste it here. So we get the object of updated contact. Now the updated contact variable has all the latest value of those three properties which we have specified in child component: first name, last name and phone number. So let's use the updated contact console.log updated contact and first name. Okay, let's save it. Now test it. Let's refresh the code. Okay, so let's refresh. So clear the console so you can see the output. Let's write something. Okay, test. Okay, here we go. Great, we got the updated result on each key press. So what we did, we just using the fetching the event parameter, and based on that we are printing it on console. So this is the way we can achieve the same thing which we have did earlier. So the one more question comes here. So suppose that there is only one contact, so we are using our id and uh, uh, fetching the data based on the event. Suppose if I have more than one contact in our list, In that case, what would happen? Suppose that this account has four contacts. I have used only once, but there are four contacts. So what would happen if I use all those four contact in my related list? In that case, that things which we have just written is would not work, because that thing is only working for a single contact, because we have used only a single parameter updated contact. So if we use all those four, we would not be able to identify which contact has been updated and which needs to be printed out. So in that case, this is the one more scenario. So I'll create a new video for this, and I'll show you that how we can do it with multiple lists in a dynamic way. We can use the same thing with the dynamic way. So I'll create a new video for this. Okay, thank you so much for your time for watching this, and I would like to say last thing, please like, share and subscribe.